Okay, we're doing a video here. This is gonna go on YouTube. I'm a big fan of this filmmaker, Bill Rebane. He called me his biggest fan. I've been talking to him on the phone since March. The gentleman, Michael, somebody on there, dude on there. I've been talking to him before that through Facebook posts and Messenger. I talked to Bill a few times. The man's 84 now. His birthday is February 8th, 1937 in Regula Vita. He went to Germany at a certain age, and he said he met his wife. She's Hungarian, in a nightclub he sang at, and he had a film mentor by the name of Adalbert Baltus. He invented the Sanitarium's 360-degree wraparound motion picture process. He got the rights. He been turned out. I was reading the book, which I'm going to talk about the book in a minute here. A little book that came with the set of movies that he put out. He said it didn't get as far as he wanted to. He ran into problems and with money and didn't get to where it should have, but ended up not making. Losing money on the whole damn thing and it didn't get to where it should. It was way too ahead of its time. Reminds me of a bomber from the 60s, the XB-70 Valkyrie, North American company put it out. It ended up being too ahead of its time, didn't make it into the production. But I had received in the mail yesterday, I got this in the mail. This box set of his movies. I bought it from Amazon. The seller was Green Orbit. This was $78 with shipping and tax, and this is awesome. This is the Weir, Wisconsin, the Bill Rebane Collection. It's got some good movies on it. It doesn't have giant spider bases. There's rumors that said it was, but Brandon Johnson hooked me up on Facebook. He helped put together the set. He couldn't get the rights to Spider Invasion, and the Ron of the Legend of Shadow Lake and A1 couldn't go on there. Capture Bigfoot in '79 couldn't. In 1970 that couldn't go on there either. So those are the two that was missing, Bigfoot and Rana. But otherwise, it's a great set. I already checked some of it out. Watched one of the films on it and checked two of them. Monster Go-Go looks really good, and Alpha Incense, the one I was looking forward to the most. I interviewed Bill on last month about that film, and I did a nice slideshow with the trailer of the movies and clips from the movie, and went off topic and does other stuff, a couple clips from Spider Invasion. It starts off with a picture of him. It goes in the introduction from the '08 DVD he slapped together, Spider Invasion, the director's cut he threw together from Synergy Entertainment, and Entertainment MDV Visual put it out. I have that here. I could, in a bag I had it yesterday. I was somebody had it out with me. Some of the guys I work with, I can even pull it out and show that. This has got 6 movies on it. It's got Monster Go-Go was originally titled Terror at Half Day. Came out in I don't have to read the back of this. It's all in my head. Came out in '65. It was made in the early '60s. It didn't finish. It went back and forth. He said he was jumping around. It was confusing. He didn't get to shoot it all together. It was all put together, and he didn't have enough money to finish it because of the union crew. He worked with the Herschel Gordon Lewis, ended up selling it to him. He made a distribution deal. He said it was a surefire deal on the Monster Go-Go interview or commentary. I heard that so many times, both of them. Corey Jailer moderated the interview. But he ran out of money. He worked with the union crew, and the dude ran out of money and didn't have enough money to finish it. There were restrictions. He said he had union time of shooting. He said it was 6 hours of setup and 2 hours of shooting under union rules. So, ran out of money. They wouldn't give him any more money. He raised as much as he could. He ran out of funds, and he said 80% was in the can. There's some whack of drive footage that was missing, and he shot in Chicago and blocked the freaking traffic and everything during rush hour, and he said nobody could get away with that. And then it was an oddity to shoot movies in Chicago to begin with. He looked on as a total oddity, and Mayor Daley had banned an outright ban on motion picture filming there, but he supported him even with that, and the effort. Bill hates the result. It's a mix-up. I think the film has some good stuff and some bad acting in it, and I think the one guy was a producer. You had to have a credit in the film on Dr. Mang's out because the other guy couldn't do it anymore. They played him and said, we'll get somebody to play his brother. Who's gonna be? I'll be it. I'll play him. So he's getting a credit, so I gotta be in the movie. He had somebody's wife was in there too that was involved. And Stu Taylor was in there. He was a stuntman for Backjack Productions, John Wayne's company. He was in there, played a truck driver. He fixes a chick's car, and he says, "Come here, driver." She kisses him and says, "Thanks, ma'am," I think. And it's kind of, he didn't even know the guy. It's kind of funny, but. And Bill Rebane's in it himself in the Go-Go dancing scene with Lori Perry that he talks to now. Sometimes that he was in 2010 when this came out. He collector's edition for Monster Go-Go came out. He said that She's now a spiritual healer. I also have this. I got this when it came out in 2010 for the film I'm discussing. It's on. This has a commentary of Joe Rubin. I don't like that guy. I think he was fit to do the commentary because The Incredible Melting Man was one of the last American National Pictures. That is not. Bill Rebane didn't see it prior to make this film, but he said you're doing it first, and he was not. The first film of somebody going into space coming back infected with radiation as a creature or turned into a monster or whatever is the Quatermass experiment, released in 1955. An hour and 22 minutes, directed by the great Val Guest. He's one of my favorite English science fiction directors. He did comedy, but never wanted to do science fiction. But that's the first film. Like, the second will be First Man in Space in '59, produced by Richard Gordon. I met him at Monster Bash. Nice guy, English gentleman. He passed away some years ago. He's in the '80s, late '80s. It has Marshall Thompson in it. And I'm trying to remember I forget the French actress's name. I haven't seen her a lot of things, so, but she was good. She was pretty. But the commentary is good. I don't know. Joe Rubin kind of screwed Bill Rebane out of revenues and sold Blood Harvest illegally to Vinegar Syndrome and got it from the widow and released without his permission. He can get a penny. He keeps getting all these things released and no revenues from, and they don't get his permission, and he doesn't get a penny out of it because he's pretty upset. And I feel from when we talk to him, I've been talking to him a lot. I at least talk to him once or twice a week on the phone. I have his number. He has mine. Cell phone, landline is mine. I have his address. He has my address. But that's Monster Go-Go's on here. I think it has its ups and downs and parts, and the ending was stupid, and Herschel Gordon Lewis put that stupid narration in. Not what Bill wanted. The end product was not what he wanted. He didn't expect that, and it was like Monster Go-Go. Where'd this title come from? That wasn't his title. It was what he wanted for the picture. Like I said, in this movie, his character got killed pretty quick, and it wasn't what he had in mind for the picture, what happened with him, and he just kind of wanted to give up, and I think he started doing shorts and stuff. I'll read that stuff again, but he just kind of gave up and for a little while there and wasn't, but for that. But then it has Monster Go-Go. Let me take these out. Let me just read the back of this since I was talking about this stuff I remember and everything. Let me just read this and add my own antidotes to this. There's the J card. Alien Invasions, Haunted Pianos, Sentient Monster Trucks. Airvideo is proud to present the first ever collection of the works by Bill Rebane, the epitome of an independent regional filmmaker who built his own studio in the wilds of Wisconsin. He acted for Hitchcock. He searched for the arms of the Venus de Milo. He turned a Volkswagen Beetle into a giant spider, and he still works today. Bringing together 6 films, all new to Blu-ray and brand new restorations. Where Wisconsin, the Bill Rebane Collection packs in a mutant astronaut bothering blissful sunbathers and Monster Go-Go. Contagion apocalypse was seen from the vantage point of a remote mountain cabin. It's supposed to be in Canada, but it's in Wisconsin. That's Invasion from Inner Earth, and it came out in 1974. That was originally called The Selected. And Bill said on the interview I saw yesterday, cool bootleg titles, They and Hellfire. The Searchers was another title for it. The movie guy that reviewed this said Rabin, but it's Rebane, had said that it was The Searchers. I never heard of that title, but that's for Invasion from Earth. And Deadly Alien Spores from the Rocks of Mars, the Alpha Incident. Royal Gothic Putrid Horror, The Demons of Ludlow. That was released in 83. Alpha Incident was December 87. It had a premiere. It wasn't official. Then it had official premieres like December 15th, something 77. It played on the 78. It was a co-feature of Star Wars, picked up by Paramount. And it played really well. Bill said it was booked into close to 1,000 theaters, drive-ins. He doesn't know how well it did gross, but it was made for $350,000. He doesn't know the gross because he said he was busy working on other stuff by then, and he was back and forth and wasn't paying attention to the gross, but it made the box. It did really well besides Giant Spider Invasion. A lot of people were let down it's not on this set, but that's, he hates that movie. I like it, but it didn't turn out the way he wanted. The spiders, bigger and bigger spiders, he didn't give him the money, and it was supposed to be little tarantulas and black holes, and Hoff wrote the original screenplay, and then they got Robert Easton, the dialect doctor, the actor, did the dialect to get in there. And they didn't agree on the working script. The film had no working script, so it turned out as it did, and I love the film, and it's a science fiction, it's a cult classic. It's a genre parody. They couldn't afford what they thought would be feasible spider effects, so they thought they'd camp it. And I think it looks good, and I get into it like it's real. I have an imagination. When that spider devours that deputy, then my hair stand, like I get a feeling through my body, like the chills, I call it like a hair stand up. It's not like this is so awesome. That there's scenes when I make my hair stand up with that spider, that big queen spider has the attack scenes. I think it's really well made for the budget. You can't even tell it's a Volkswagen. Some of these scenes they built into a Volkswagen. The other scenes they had it on a crane. I think it looks really good. They had kids in there moving. The legs. It was so hot the kids could have passed out when they came out of the vehicle. They were drenched. It was 100-degree Wisconsin heat. He shot that in June, July 1975. Uh, that's Giant Spider, which is not in here where people are let down, but it doesn't have to have that movie. And I was waiting for his movies to come out. Here's the fact: for him to come out like these other movies he made, I like just as much. Like that's my favorite. Only reason is I love spiders. They have a tarantula, Rosie, Chilean rose hair. Got her in December '09. She passed away in October 14th. I remember crying that day. I went to Monster Bash that day. I remember they had a Monster Bash thing in Mars. Was it Butler then? That was in Mars. They had to change to Mars by then. Yeah, I remember being crying that day, and I was kind of thrown up. I was taking some medications. I don't take mental health drugs anymore. I'm hyper. I have autism, Asperger's, OCD, ADHD, but so yeah, Giant Spider Agent is like my favorite because I love spiders, and I'm not afraid of them. I just get into any of these movies I get into, like they're real. I used to be afraid of zombie movies when I was a kid, gory, atmospheric zombie movies with good music, and I used to be afraid of that. Anything with corpses like One Dark Night in '82 with the mausoleum that Tom McLaughlin directed with Tom Berman doing the special makeup effects and headed the team of the special effects, and Adam West is even in it. You know, character's stupid, but Meg Tilly's in it. E.G. Daily, yeah, that's that stuff. But I just get in these movies. I have imagination. I'll get in, like I said, I'll get feeling like that. Even music and movies, I cry about scenes in movies and music, like the same emotions connected to the music and the actresses. They're pretty. They're not just pretty. They got good acting and like Bill Rebane, when I first started talking about it, I was crying because whenever he said that about me, he said one can only expect to have a fan like you. That's not exactly what he said, but no one would be so proud to have a fan like him. He's called me his biggest fan. I have stuff on Facebook. I interviewed him. I have stuff on my Facebook. He said only somebody would be proud to have a fan like me. He said something like that. Look at the post, but it was in the vein that, you know, he should be lucky to have a fan like me. He's probably so happy to have it. I cried so whenever he said these things. He said, I'll have to go through my Facebook and save some of the stuff and then do another video and show it and talk about that too. But Demons of Ludlow, here we go again. We're going back to this now. He said Demons of Ludlow, the eccentric body count movie, The Game, and a comedy smash 'em up that pits three hillbilly stooges against a talking monster truck with artificial intelligence. Twister's Revenge, that was '87. The other one, The Game, was '84, also known as The Cold. The talking monster truck thing, I don't think that he borrowed from Knight Rider, the show, but with David Hasselhoff. But a lot of these things, like The Game, is similar to William Castle's House on Haunted Hill from '59. And like Giant Spider Agent ended like Tarantula Store with the '70s twist and the black holes and the no big spider in the plan from the get-go. But and then the offense, the ending similar to Night of the Living Dead, but that just bears a resemblance. Bill said that was the original he cooked up. He told me that in the interview. Invasion from Earth bears a resemblance a little bit to the old movie from the '67, The Quatermass in the Pit, with Andrew Kerr, Barbara Shelley, James Donald. What's the other actor? He was going to be at the Still City Con. I forget the other guy's name, but he was Colonel Breen in it. He didn't believe that it was aliens and the insectopods. He thought it was a German V weapon, but it wasn't. But that is in the underground. And these aliens in Invasion come from inside the Earth, and they let out these viruses and these smoke bombs, and there's lights, and they're talking to them on the radio. That's Invasion of Middle Earth. It's similar to that. Some of these movies are just similar, and Rana is similar to Creature from the Black Moon. Rana, The Legend of Shadow Lake, bears a resemblance. It just turned out that way. He hadn't seen Creature in years. He told me. I just talked to him. I have that recorded in audio on my recorder and microphone. I did both at the same time. I think he said that was just the way it turned out. He wasn't trying to do a spin-off or like a tribute to Creature from the Black Moon. It just turned out that way. Here we go. Loaded with new interviews and extras. This is an essential collection of features from one of America's most tenuous outside archers. Limited edition contents. 6 Bill Rebane films, all new, restored from the best surviving elements, and newly commissioned feature-length documentary Who's Bill Rebane, featuring interviews with critics, filmmakers, cast, and crew. Down here, plus brand new interviews with Bill Rebane about every film in the set. Brand new interviews with visual essay by Richard Harlan. Kim Newman. I watched the Richard Harlan Smith one. I was good. Kim Newman. Some of the comments I liked. He said some of them I didn't. I don't think that Spider's so cheesy. It's laughable. Some people say I look at the movies that way. I get in like the real. Like I said, I have an imagination. If Bill didn't like it, I'm sure if he would have turned out the way he wanted to, I'm sure he wouldn't have laughed at it. And, you know, he doesn't like the eyes of the, he said of the Ralph Meeker when he killed the duplicate head that Dale Kuiper did the effects Kuipers, and we agree with Wisconsin. He did other stuff after that. I have to watch it again and remember that stuff with him, but he doesn't like the glass eyes he used for that, and he had the bladder and the duplicate had Ralph Meeker and Pressure, and the fake blood was Earl Silverman Bloodbath food coloring. He said the blood. He didn't like the eyes, but I didn't. That didn't bother me. It kind of looks fake, but overall it looks really good when it kills you, when that thing kills you, the virus from the probe on Mars. But I liked it. I thought it was well made. He wouldn't like his stuff laughed at if he was proud of some of it, and some of he thinks is low production values, like Invasion from Inner Earth. Like Paul Blaz didn't like when his monster, Conquer the World, Buell the Carrot monster comes out of the cave, and he didn't like it. The crew laughed at it. I know. I don't. The audience might have too when they saw it. He didn't like it being laughed at. That's somebody looks at movies and laughs as they're cheesy. The way they get in, really, the way they look at it is not really the way fans look at that stuff. But everybody's different. But it says Brandon, like I said, the visual essays by films and stories critics Kim Newman, Richard Harlesmith, and Stephen R. Bissett. Rare Bill Rebane short films and outtakes, trailers, sets of stills, and professional guys. Fully illustrated 60-page collector's booklet featuring extensive new writing by historian and critic Stephen Thrower, author of Nightmare USA, The Untold Story of Exploitation Independence. Limited edition exclusive. Reversible poster featuring newly commissioned artwork by the Twins of Evil. They do artwork. Some people that reviewed it said they had mixed feelings. They didn't like it. They did. I think it has a cool infrared look. Like if you've seen the movie From Beyond that Stuart Gordon did in 1986, the sci-fi thriller, that the prologue was from H.P. Lovecraft, the rest had to be expanded. That has like a really cool pink infrared look in the lights in the film. The lighting, that I think just looks really awesome. And then like, I'll take some of these out and talk about the artwork, how I like it, the way it looks. I think it bears a resemblance to some of the silent film tinted stuff. So this is the J card. This has the aspect ratios, and the audio is 2.0 mono. It sounds so good. It sounds like stereo to me because it's DVDs and Blu-rays or audio are so good. Black and white color. English subtitles. Deaf for the hearing impaired subtitles and stuff. I don't think it has descriptive video service. TCM has that for people that can't see. They can describe what's happening. Yep, from the wilds of Wisconsin he came. This is the J card. That's that. I haven't got it on my desktop there. Bill Rebane's film he didn't finish. He has to wait to edit on Ghostly Obsessions. In 04 it was supposed to. It's not really scary. It's a drama film. It's they connect with the ghost and talk to him. It's like a drama. It's not supposed to be scary. It's more of a human spirit and emotions. But here's the discs for the box set. This is the first disc. It has Invasion. I actually put Invasion instead of Monster. I like it. I like them both. But I like Invasion better if I had to pick. Kim Newman said he could sit through the whole thing without falling asleep. I don't agree with that. When I watched it, I was so damn tired. So I watched it at least 10 times, and 5 times I didn't fall asleep. So I don't agree with what he said. I love the film. It's reversible. It has Invasion from Inner Earth and Monster of Go-Go's here. I'll just take it out. The artwork. It has this. You can have either one. This is Monster of Go-Go 165. It didn't turn out the way he wanted to at all. Like Spiders didn't turn out either, but this one was even worse. This is the first one, a tough one, like he said, his first effort. Like he said, it has some value for film students if one knows the whole story. He said that on the commentary with Joe Rubin from the 2010 one I showed the collector's edition of. Which one did I put that in? I put it back in. Let me take these out of these things. I'll show all these real briefly. I don't know how to talk about them, but I got other things here with him. The other movies. Think about and get them ready. So yeah, this is just a clear. Sometimes they have the blue Blu-ray cases. I think these are cool because somebody said they're saving money. They're putting 2 movies on a disc. They're not compressed because these are. I saw a website. There's 2 websites. They have the techno aspect ratio stuff of the films and the techno aspects, and they said they were 50 gigabyte dual layer discs, which means I bought 50 dual layer Blu-rays, and they take at least 40 minutes to burn them, depending on the speed you use, and then 30 minutes to do a 25 gig. But they got more space on their dual layer, double layer Blu-rays. Those are harder to get. I don't know how much it costs Arrow Video to get a hold of those to burn for the movies, but those are more expensive discs, so I guess they cost some for this, but. They're not the movies on compressed at all because there's 2 movies on a 25 gigabyte. No, they're 2 movies on a 50 gigabyte dual layer Blu-ray disc, but it's got, like I said, Invasion from Inner Earth. 74 came out, Monster of Go-Go there, and the disc. It's just a Blu-ray up, and it's a regular double layer Blu-ray, the 50 gigabyte one. for that kind. There's another one. I think there's a triple one. It's 100 or something. I think right now I just know the 25 and the 50 are pretty common for the Blu-rays, and I just picked Invasion, like I said, for the instead of using the monster one for the show the front. Maybe I switch it so often. Some people don't like it, so they could have one movie on each disc, and they could have just one artwork. It's reversible. I guess they could have had Monster and Go-Go here, and Invasion here, just the covers, and on the other side I could have both technical aspects and had different pictures and more focused on one movie on one side, one movie on the other side on both sides, like the front here and for both here. Monster here and Monster here and Invasion here, and the other side I could have had, but that's not the way I usually do these these disc artwork inserts. But the other side I could have had the Monster technical stuff here and the Invasion one here, but they didn't do it like that. That's a cool option I have, but I didn't make it, so that's the first disc. It also has this is the one I was most proud of. That they hear about that he's most proud of this film. That one of my favorite films he made. Probably my second favorite film. It's hard to say to think about it, but this is Alpha. It's in 1977. It was released. I like the infrared look. Infrared also looks like sort of like the silent films are color tinted in the 1920s. They used this dye color. It's similar to that, but the only thing it's not similar is how it's multicolored. It's not just one color. That's really cool. Infrared, like a camera negative look that's dyed infrared with different colors for the different, like the blue on Jenny and Charlie Routmaker, and then Jack and Sorensen, and then Hank, the George Buck Flower. But that's cool. They had different colors for the. They had so many blue and so many red. I like the cover, and it has the letters Alpha and like the government, like the way they look like a calculator, like the letters are like numbers, almost like the government stuff. Because it's an incident, like Alpha, it's in like Gamma code. He says on the phone, Dr. Sorensen, whatever Gamma code the hell it was. But this is the disc. It has Alphas and Themes of Lolo. Each disc has extras on it too. Interviews with him, straight shooter. There's 6 parts, and then there's trailers on someone for someone, and then there's tributes to these critics or film historians, and it has image galleries. And then there's like on that, I forgot that monster one. There's also Kidnap, Extortion, and 17. I watched that last night with my friend Chris, and then it has Twist Crates and Dance Crates, 62 and 63, I think. Yeah, one or the other, whichever. I remember those. Those are good shorts he did for AIP that I liked. And this is the Alpha and Themes of Ludlow, 83. That's pretty good. That has Paul Benson is a Bill Rebane stock actor. It has him in it. Yeah, he has a different name in it, though. He had acquired a stage name by then. Paul Van Housen, something like that. He was one of the Gleason players, Bill said. Now he teaches acting at the University of Wisconsin, I think, Madison. Orpheum Theaters near there, where he had the Bill Rebane Festival in 2005. That Mike Nelson and Tom Servo from Mystery Science Theater were there. Tom Servo, the robot. Kevin Murphy played the voice of Tom Servo. And then Bill Corbo was Crow T Robot, but Bill wasn't there. The other two guys were Mike's the second guy. Joel Nelson, or no, not Joel Hodgson's the original creator of the whole thing and did the early episodes. I don't know if I should read these on the backs, but everybody else did that. But there's other reviews on there. People can read it. I'm just gonna go through it. I have some other stuff to show, so I'm not gonna be able to read all this stuff. But that's the second disc with the 2 on it, and 77 and 83 for Alpha and Demons. 83, 77, 83 up, and then we got The Game and Twister's Revenge. We just get these like this and put them here so they're sticking out. There we go. The Game's 84. I saw the trailer, looks pretty interesting, and Twister's Revenge looks kind of funny. That's 87. That's after Blood Harvest. Blood Harvest is alright, to be honest. My friend Chris liked that. I don't like the blood. I like some gore stuff, like some of the slasher movies and stuff. I'm obsessed with them. They're good. He likes more of the 50s stuff, the hint but don't show stuff, the 50s reminiscent stuff, but he doesn't like the blood, guts, and gore as much. And Herschel Gore Lewis did a feature with him. It was Primetime or something else. I have to listen to that part of the commentary. I forgot that part. But after that didn't do well with Herschel Gore Lewis, that's when he started doing blood, the guts, and gore. And he was a groundbreaker for that stuff in the 60s. There was shit that you would never see in these horror movies, that they all this gore and these mutilating women, like in Blood Feast from 1963. You'd never see that in movies at that time. And Brandon Wood, that was the first one, like in 59. It influenced Reanimator from 1985. And Stuart Gordon, I met that director. He's good. He's one of my favorites from the 80s and that in the 90s. that influenced that. And the guy gets his arm ripped off in the basement in that movie. Brandon would die. 59, not released till 62, picked up by AIP, had trouble getting it out. Porter Party Beach is another one, 64. It's a sci-fi horror thriller musical. Them dumping radioactive waste and they form on this shipwreck crew. They form into these fish zombie monsters that look like hot dogs sticking out of their mouth, but they drain blood. And they attack a slumber party. There's a lot of pretty women in it, and they rip them apart and kill them. It's pretty bloody for the time, and it's pretty intense. I like that movie. It's a parody, but parodies are tributes. I always used to think parodies would be making fun of something, so you laugh. You can't laugh, but he said that Delta said they did, then they got into it when they were killing the creatures. They got into it like it was real, like it was supposed to be. I guess we can know. Yeah, parodies a tribute. It's imitation is the most sincere form of flattering. So even Weird Al Yankovic would do parodies of songs or bands or singers and backing bands, and that's a tribute. So it's not even making fun of, really. I thought it was, but like Young Frankenstein, like Spider Invasions of genre parody, but it's a tribute to the 50s science fiction thriller giant spider movie. So like Tarantula 55, which is my favorite giant spider movie. I also really like Earth vs. Spider that Bernard Gordon did. It came out in 1958. They're both science fiction thrillers. It's just got The Cold. Okay, the game is the original title, The Cold. Alternate title at 1.5 by 1 widescreen, 1.33.1 full screen. It's got both versions. This is the stuff I don't know. This movie as much, and it's got the 5.6 straight shooter reviews with Bill Rebane. It's got the high definition transfers and Twisted Revenges in 1.85.1 widescreen. It's got the trailers, the stills and promotional advertisement galleries. Discovering Bill Rebane, new presentation by critic, historian and critic Stephen Arpa said he looks like a cool dude. He really likes Bill Rebane. He was talking about how the films. I didn't watch it all. I saw some and I fell asleep, and I got to put the rest of it on today. But he has mentioned that some of those other Hollywood films, a lot of them. I'm trying to remember what movie he mentioned, but he was saying just an example that he would rather watch Bill Rebane's films that are straightforward, down and dirty guerrilla filmmaking. Wasn't afraid to show the shit he needed to show, would deliver and wouldn't stop. He said you can't just give up. You got to do it. You got to hang in there and give the goods, deliver. And he was mentioning how I'd rather watch him than watch a lot of the movies now, or a lot of some of the other ones at that time. I like a lot of those different films from the times, but Bill Rebane's one of the best independent B-movie filmmakers of all time. And he's an idol of mine, my top 5 favorite. I also really like Roger Corman and Bernard Gordon. Larry Buchanan did some really bad stuff that's kind of amateurish. It has its qualities to it. The film coloring bled, made it look a certain way. There was a documentary on YouTube called Guerrilla Filmmaking. Larry Buchanan got the award for best B-movie filmmaker in the Hall of Fame, but I think Bill Rebane's better. But if you look at the budget-wise, the cost, Larry Buchanan, $50,000 for like those films he did, and $30,000 for like Eye Creatures and Zolto's remakes and some. There's 7 of them. 2 were his, 3 were his, and 4 were remakes. 4, 5, 6, 8. Yeah, 3 were originals and 4 were remakes. So those are good too, but I like Bill Rebane better. Larry Buchanan was also religious, didn't like a lot of gore. Bill Rebane believes in God. I'm kind of in the middle about God, but I think there's something, I'm not sure if it's biblical, but this is good. This has got the artwork commissioned by the Twins of Evil. There's some guy that reviewed it, I'm trying to remember his name, he said he didn't like their artwork, but I think it's pretty good. Everybody has their own opinion, but... And this is the last disc with the documentaries on it. It has the Who is Bill Rebane and the Kings of the Wild Frontier. It's got the, I can just read this one. This is good stuff. I gotta watch this in an hour 55 minutes, and the 90 minutes or 93 for the one with Stephen Arpa set, the Kings of the Wild Frontier. It's just they shot a lot of stuff during COVID last year. It's remote. A lot of it had to do by Zoom or digital video to broadcast this stuff. Probably not Zoom. That's just they could share with people. It's probably some way to digitally broadcast, and they videoed it and they put it out on the discs. Historian and critic David Carnes, brand definitive feature-length documentary. This is Who's Bill Rebane. On the life and work of tenacious Wisconsin archer is a fascinating inquiry into extraordinary life in filmmaking. Featuring contributions from historians and critics, cast and crew worked with Bill and went on to Hollywood careers, plus fellow filmmakers Randall William Cook, Mark Brodich, and Corey Udler. Who is Bill Rebane? Board chart. I didn't say it right. I think I did now. And we know Corey Udler, of course. He did the 08 Spider Invasion director's cut, and he did the one that Bill threw together. He asked the original footage is lost. It's not even really director's cut. He looks at director's cuts different, Bill. He thinks you cut stuff out of him. He doesn't even realize that his alpha instant, the R-rated, on the Blu-ray I was just showing you, has the R-rated extended director's cut, which runs almost 95 minutes. And he thought that used to be legal. I don't know who did any cutting on it. He said, well, that's like Dawn of the Dead, George Romero's director's cut runs almost 2 hours and a half. It's 2 hours and 23 minutes, and the original one is 2 hours and 5, and then the European version is an hour and 57 minutes. I have the dog that box set over there, Tom Savini inside, that did the special makeup effects. It scared me as a kid, Dawn of the Dead. I grew out of that stuff being scared, but that's a... So director's cuts are really supposed to be longer. It's the stuff that's missing that doesn't end up and they cut out for the theatrical release, and he doesn't know that he thinks that you cut stuff out of it, and that's a director's cut. That's not what a director's cut. That's a theatrical cut. The director's cuts have more, but he looks at director's cuts as cuts that end up. Well, the PG version of the offense is 85 minutes. That's the one he cuts stuff out of. That's what he thinks the director's cut, but that's the theatrical version. The director's cut has more in it. He says the director's cut be the stuff he cut stuff out of. He looks at director's cuts differently. I think it's pretty unique. It's not the usual longer versions, or even the 50s films like the sci-fi thrillers in those films, and the horror films like the TV syndication versions were longer. They had to shoot additional scenes to pad out the TV length. If they wanted to fit like a movie that's 77 minutes, say Girls on Loose, the AmeriCordy, I like a lot. She's like Dream Girl, my favorite actress, nice lady. The original version was only 74 minutes. They had a few minutes of footage to fit it in an hour, and about 2 hours probably they fit it in, or an hour and 45 minutes and 77 minutes. So they had to pad out. They had to shoot some things to pad it out to fit it in the 2 hour time life. I think they would fit that in. Yeah. Unless they had less commercials. I wasn't alive then when they showed that on TV, but. And it says it's got featured contributions from historians and critics, casting crew, worked with Bill Rebane and one of the Hollywood careers plus fellow filmmakers. Randall William Cook is a big stop motion guy that influenced by Ray Harryhausen. I love Ray Harryhausen. He's like my idol for special effects. And got Willis O'Brien, of course, with King Kong. He Flutes Ray, who's his mentor. It's got Mark Rodich, like I said. I read this actually. Corey Yardley, yeah. Who is Bill Rebane? Answers is important. I was talking about something and realized I read that right, backtracked. Who is Bill Rebane? Answers the important questions on who, what, where, why, and much, much more. Special edition content, HD Blu-ray definition, high definition transfers here. I'm just reading it my way. I'm not reading it right off. For 1080p, yep. Original uncompressed stereo audio. King of the Wild Frontier, an almost 2 hour impassionate conversation with historian and critic Steve Arbus about the films of Bill Rebane. Invasion from Era, silent outtakes from the shoot. Alpha Incident, silent outtakes from the shoot. Demons of Lolo, silent outtakes from the shoot. Demons of Lolo, silent outtakes from the shoot. Giant Spider Invasion, original theatrical trailer. Rare stills and promotional galleries. Reversible sleeve, newly commissioned artwork by Twins of Evil. Yep, this is good. I gotta watch this. I watched the, I just watched the Giant Spider Invasion trailer. Just checking out to see if it was different transfer than some of the other ones. It was the same pretty much, but I gotta watch this stuff today. I already watched Alpha and Sin already and saw some of the interviews and some of the stuff on the other disc. I didn't watch all the movies, just Alpha and Monster a Go-Go, but it comes with this nice hardback book on it, which I'm used to. Like this Monster a Go-Go has like just a reprint of Scary Monsters magazine. And that is this booklet. I mean, this is the one for. I'm sorry. This is the one for Monster a Go-Go. It's just a booklet, like a little reproduction. Has that. And there's the movie, and this is it. And let me go through it real quick. But this is a hardback one for this one. It's pretty nice. It's like I was reading something. I stopped on the first paragraph of Alpha, and it said it has got about almost 60 pages here. Got that. So it's got a nice poster here. Like I want to wrap this up and show this poster. There's a nice poster here, and I'll do another video and show the something I got in the mail from Bill. He had signed the cover and he autographed the inside and put a little message for me. And I'll show some of his other movies next time with that. Oh, this is the poster. It's got this on this side. Just back up so you can see the whole thing. It's got this and it's got this. He actually told me on the phone we talked last time. Not the last time. One of the times. I've been talking to him a couple times a week. So he said he didn't get money off this. He's not getting revenue from this set, and he wanted me to take a screenshot on my phone from the computer. I did the Power Rangers version and the NTSC version of this set, and he wanted me so you email them because he's not getting a penny of it. He's getting people taking his stuff and not making money off of it. It's pretty disappointing. The guy's awesome. He should be getting more revenues. I know he has a caretaker that lives in Pam. I have her cell phone number. So I texted that stuff to her because he doesn't have a cell phone. He has a landline. And he was having computer problems lately, so he couldn't get on the computer. He was on Facebook finally on Sunday. I sent him some messages. I'll have to tell him some of the things I said later when I call him. I'm going to call him probably later and tell him I made this video and talk about this is the collection. This is pretty awesome. This is the with the discs in it. It's got the side panel with the movies, and he's in the director's chair. He said they still have my picture on there. I said, yeah. I was kind of laughing because I know he's going to try to get him from. I go get him, Bill. I call him Wild Bill because he's getting screwed out of the money. Here's the back. It's a nice, like, looks like a creek. Yeah, and it's got the sparkles like the Wisconsin woods at night. He has beautiful photography. Like, I was seeing how the nice view of the lake by the train and outfits, and that's a beautiful print outfits. And he's only going to be surprised when I tell him how awesome it looks. And like, there's nice scenery and invasion. He takes advantage of the scenery around him and uses his locations around him and takes advantage of that, and he helps the town, like, promote the town with economically, even to help. And some people didn't care, like they don't participate in spiders or whatever movie. He had a lot of extras in Invasion from Earth. I don't have any trouble with those, but it's their loss of me because he's taking advantage of his surroundings and his scenery, and he has beautiful photography in his films. So I'm really proud of this guy in his films. He's one of my favorite filmmakers in my top 5. So this is pretty awesome. I get this, and again, this is the J card it came with. You should try to purchase this. I got this on Amazon from a seller, Green Arbor, a third-party seller, second party, whatever. It was $78 with shipping and tax. I ordered on the first. It shipped out that night, I think, and then I got it yesterday. So, and there's the box. So I gotta throw this away. Hope you like this video. You should buy this set and support this guy, and subscribe to my videos. I got movies I made as a kid, stop motion. Puppet Master movie I made as a kid with my brother and his friend. Lived across the street. It's got a dinosaur movie tribute to Brian and Harry Howes, and it's got drum. I've been playing drums for 25 years. It's got Devo, my favorite band, Gary Newman. His stuff's dark, and Devo's punk and synth punk, and Devo's new. And then it's got Newman. He's dark wave and synth punk, and Pete started punk rock or two. He did like dark industrial, some new wave. He jumped around some after his dark stuff, and he lost his way, but. Tubes. I got all kinds of cool drum covers of cars, like all kinds of music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and some 90s, and some of the newer stuff, not a lot more indie bands. I don't like a lot of the new music. I like some of the stuff that's like has new elements, it holds and keeps a lot of past elements. And I got commentaries and everything on there, and some cool stuff. And I added ripped trailers and stuff and scenes from movies. Just subscribe to my channel, man. This is an awesome set, and anybody that loves Bill Rebane should buy it. Hope you like this video. I'll make another one. I showed the thing out for Bill Rebane in the mail he signed that I got yesterday. Also, I'll show some of the other. I'll just focus on Giant Spider Invasion next time. That thing I got is with that, and then some of the 3 different release discs I have of the Spider one. So I hope you enjoyed this. Buy this set and support this guy. Hope you liked the video. Take care.